Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a special guest for you guys, and I'm going to be teaching her how to make a Guyanese dish. So come out and we'll show you guys who it is. So it's none other than Trini Cooking with Natasha in the flesh. I have Natasha here, and Natasha, are you excited?
Very excited.
So can you tell the viewers what I'm going to teach you to make today?
He's going to teach me to make Gurma.
Awesome. So Gurma is a sweet mango dessert, and the way I describe it to people, it's like a sweet mango curry in a sense, but it doesn't contain any curry powder. It's made almost the same way as a natural curry would be made, but we're gonna do it a little differently, and I'm gonna show you guys how my grandmother makes it today. So this is usually made for prayer services or weddings, and if you guys have ever been to one of those, they make it in those huge pots. You know, you've been to a prayer service or a wedding, and it's just huge pots and huge amounts of everything. We're gonna do it on a small scale today, but nonetheless, it's gonna be a great video. So let's get into it, Natasha.
Yeah.
Alright, so for the Gurma today, we're gonna need some mangoes, and when you're choosing your mangoes, you wanna use some ripe mangoes. Now, here in the US, sometimes the mangoes lie to you in the supermarket. You might be choosing them and it's too soft, or when you cut it open, it's softer than you thought it was. So these are a little too soft that I'd like to make my Gurma with, but it's gonna come out perfectly fine with it. As long as you chop it and it has that seed in the middle, you're good to go. So I have it chopped up, we peeled it, and I scraped out the membrane that's sometimes on the seed. And then as for the seasonings and the spices, we have some brown sugar, and this is to taste. You're gonna have to taste as you go because sometimes some mangoes are sweeter, some are a little sour. And we have some patched and ground anise seeds, and this is gonna give it a great licoricey flavor. We also have some cumin seeds or geera. We have some masala, as well as some cinnamon powder. And the cinnamon powder is what's gonna give it that beautiful dark color that we all know when we're eating Gurma.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, so Matthew, what's next?
So we're gonna head over to the stove and we're gonna put this Gurma together now.
Okay.
So the first step when making the Gurma is to go ahead and parch or patch the geera seeds. So what we're gonna do is add in some oil into the pot.
How much?
And we're gonna add in just a few tablespoons. You wanna almost cover the bottom but not add too much. So that looks perfect. And then what we're gonna do is go in with our geera or cumin seeds, and we're gonna let them parch or patch. It's the same thing, guys. And we're gonna have them get nice and dark. So Natasha's just gonna go ahead and stir those up for me, and my heat is on a medium heat right now. And we're gonna let these get nice and dark. So while Natasha is parching or patching that geera, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the spice mixture that's gonna go in the Gurma. So into my bowl here, I'm gonna add in my anise seeds, and these were parched and then ground. I also have my masala, I'm going in with that as well. And I'm going in with all of my cinnamon powder. So usually when I make curry, you guys might see that I add some water in to make a paste, and then we fry this up and add in our meat or whatever vegetables we're cooking. But with the mango, you cannot add water because the mango is going to turn slimy when you add the spices in. So we add them in dry, and then we go top it with the mango.
So Matthew, I think this is ready.
Yep, it looks perfect. They're really dark and brown. That's what you want. You don't want them to get to that stage where they're super black, or else this dish might taste a little bitter. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take all of the spices that I mixed up, and we're going to go in.
Are you going to add whole or some?
We're just going to add some for now, because sometimes this dish is really based on taste. So sometimes it turns darker when you add all of the spices. So we're just going to go in with about half for now, and then I'm going to see if it needs more later.
Okay.
So at this point, our heat is on low because remember we have cinnamon and anise seed in there, and those spices are notorious for turning bitter when you fry them too much. So it's on a low heat right now, and we're just gonna slowly parch this in the pan for just about 2 to 3 minutes, just until their raw flavor is cooked out.
Okay. It smells very fragrant, Matthew.
Yep, so that's how you know that those spices are properly cooked. Once you smell everything, remember if this mixture starts to turn black on you, you might as well throw it away because it's going to be very pungent and very bitter, and the end product is not going to be great. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in with all of our mango. Now from that low heat that we had these spices parching on, I put it on a medium heat, and we're just going to add in all of the mango. So what do we call that sound, Natasha?
Chunky.
So we're going to go ahead and stir it up and just get it coated in all of those spices. And remember, we're not adding any water because if you add water at this step, the mango is going to turn slimy and it's not going to come together properly.
Okay.
So now that we've got the mangoes all coated in those spices, we're going to go in with our sugar. Now I'm adding a little bit of sugar in now, and we're gonna go ahead and taste it later and see if it needs more. This dish is really based on taste. I can't really tell you guys an exact measurement for everything that we're putting in. Of course, I'll have the measurements in the description box, but I want to make sure that you guys play around with it a little bit and get the taste that you enjoy for your gurma.
Okay.
So what we're trying to achieve with this step, Natasha, is just get all of that sugar melted and caramelized all over those mangoes. Okay. This is going to help in the color process as well for you.
So Matthew just told me that once the sugar melts, you're going to leave this to cook for about 5 minutes. Okay, Matthew, it's been 5 minutes. What's the next step?
So as you guys can see, that sugar has gotten really caramelized all over the mango. That's exactly what you want for this step. And it's not sticking at the bottom. If it starts to stick, you want to lower that heat or remove it from the heat so you can remove the sugar from the bottom. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in with a little pinch of salt. Now remember, whenever you're making a sweet dish, it's nice to go in with a little pinch of salt just to bring out all those flavors. And at this point, we're also going to go in with some water.
Okay.
We're going to have the exact measurements down below, but we might have to add a little more water during the cooking process because sometimes it tends to evaporate. Okay. So as you guys can see right here, I just covered the mango. What we're going to do is we're going to cover this mixture and we're going to let it boil on a medium-low heat for about 20 to 30 minutes. It's definitely not a fixed range of time. It depends on how soft or how hard the mangoes were to begin with.
Okay. And if they wanted it more on the firmer side, they cook it for less time.
Of course. If some people actually like their gurma to be very saucy and very fall apart. Yeah. But in my family, the way we make it is we would make the mangoes a little more firm because usually when you make it for prayer services or weddings, you're cooking in such a big amount. Remember that heat from all of that big pot, it's going to keep cooking that mango and it's going to get more and more mushy. So we undercook it just a little bit so this way the residual heat will cook it and by the time it's ready to serve, it's perfect.
Okay, good.
Alright guys, so I forgot to mention, but we're just going to add in a cinnamon stick. This is also going to help infuse it with some more cinnamon flavor. That's really the main spice of this dish. So we're just going to stir that in, cover it, and let it cook. So every couple of minutes you want to go in and stir that gurma just to make sure nothing's sticking and the liquid content is alright in there. So this is a good enough liquid for now. If I need to add more a little later, I will. What you're trying to achieve is for that mango to be tender on the inside and get just a little mushy. So we're going to keep it covered, we're going to keep cooking it, and we'll keep stirring it every so often so it doesn't burn. Alright guys, so the gurma has been cooking for about 35 minutes at this point, and as you guys can see, some of the mangoes have started to fall apart and disintegrate a bit. That's exactly what you want. That's going to help create a nice thick sauce. And then of course you want some of the mango pieces to still be whole, so this way you can have a little texture in the dish.
It looks very similar to mango to curry.
It's a little different. It just doesn't have the curry powder if you guys add that or the amchar masala. So it's a little different in that aspect. And this is a sweet dish, so we wouldn't eat it with other curries or anything like that. So this is done. We're going to go ahead and dish it up and we're going to try it out for you guys.
Okay. I'm excited to taste it.
So I'm going to go ahead and dish Natasha out a serving of this gurma so she can go ahead and try it.
So guys, the gurma is finished. Now I'm going to give it a taste.
Now, this is Natasha's first time eating gurma, so I hope she really likes it.
And he's serving it with paratha roti, which you'll find the recipe on his channel.
You can also eat it with puri or suhari. You can also eat it with just a spoon by itself. It's great like that as well. Is it good?
It's really good.
Awesome, awesome.
So guys, this tastes very similar to mango to curry. Same wheelhouse, just this one has a little more cinnamon. So make sure you guys give this a try. Make it, let me know if you like it. Let Matthew know what you think. Make sure and subscribe to his channel. And make sure and make this.
Also give this video a nice big thumbs up.
Yes, and share. Now, if you guys make it, don't forget to tag him on Instagram.
Definitely.
Thank you
Natasha,
so much.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna finish this plate. Thank you so much.
Alright, you're welcome. Bye guys.
Bye.